G'day viewers, well there's a little update in the fridge there. So I'll put back together. On the side, well, it's quite a delicate operation to actually put O-rings inside on these meter miser compressors. I've got some automotive grade gasket maker RTV silicon, high temperature oil and fuel resistant silicon. I just pumped into the terminals and screwed them back on. Made sure I got a good conductive connection, electrical connection, which is important. And just went around the base on the shell of the compressor itself. It's like that thing in the back there, the insulator. I've pretty much done both sides of the insulator. Just filled it with RTV automotive grade silicon there. High temperature resistant, petrol and oil resistant. It's a gasket maker silicon pretty much. But so it's quite a delicate operation to actually I thought, well, if this was out of a refrigerant and had no gas in it, I would have took it all apart and just redid the O-rings. But since it's got a full charge of refrigerant, it's actually working quite well. I just did this option, so this should be pretty work quite well. This electrical cord, it's got Hessian or sarin cloth Hessian cable filler in there, and that's wicked oil all the way up to the relay. That would be oily forever, that cord. But that's actually worked quite well. That's another little trick I've just tried out. Since, well, it's not actually high pressure leaking, well, it's just over the years it's just such a slow leak, but it still has its full charge of refrigerant. It's performing quite well. The coil's got it's fully frosting the coil up like it normally would. So yeah, I'm just lucky. They must have overcharged this from the factory or something. No one of these compressors just get leaky seals over the years. I don't know. These are General Motors, of course. Most General Motors cars leak oil. Even my Commodore does. Anyway, I'm quite happy with it. I put this insulator on it. It's only a tiny bit cold there, but that does actually help putting there something for more efficiency. I couldn't move this to get tape around it, so I just put some more zip ties on it and just tied this cord to it. At the end of the day, that protects the pipe work from rub through, from whatever. So it's good to have it there. So you gotta grab it like that, press it. I gotta remember that with this feature, I can't just pull it. I always do it, I can't open it, I gotta go like this. I quite like that feature. Water's getting nice and cold. JB welded the broken hinges, that's worked quite well. The thermostat's dry, it's not very cold actually. That resistor must be doing its job, which is good. I'll put this all back together. That's frosty. I've washed all this aluminium out and washed it, put this all back together. I've got to make a new thing for this. And it's just like a rubber thing that hits on that, but it's just gone hard and perished. So I'm going to fix that. I took the thermometer out and cleaned it up, but the actual board on said that metal, that liquid stuff in there, it's just got bubbles in it, so it hasn't ruptured, it's just stuffed. So I can find another one of these. That's a nice feature. So that all works. This thing here slides down and these tops slide off and out. That works. That works. Got some water in there. That's damn fully frosted completely. Look at that. Nice. Boy am I lucky with this one. Hollow, but the carburetor, yeah, has a lot more stuffing inside it, so to speak. This one here though doesn't have as much as it sounds like it. But what I'm going to do, it's been running since last night and it's actually cycled on a couple of times. Normally, I've got it turned down on the warmer side. I turn it up past R1 and it just goes for a long time. It gets, the guy was right, it does work as a freezer. Gee, it's bloody good. But I don't want to, not use it as a freezer. I want to empty this fridge out, defrost it, and just move this out the road, and I put everything in this fridge into that fridge, and use this one for now. Look at my bloody hands. That's when I rewired it and I moved it. Shit from the wires. But yeah, I want to, just as a precautionary measure, I'm going to is just the sealer that I used. I'm going to put this on the mediumizer compressor on the other fridge for good measure. That's what I used. I'm going to do this compressor as well for good measure, just as a precaution, so it can't hurt anything. Since it's just well, it's not actually, yeah, well, it's not actually leaking. I don't know, this thing here, that oil was bloody deceiving. I swore this thing would be low on the refrigerator and didn't have any in it when I first seen it with the oil that was on it, but unbelievable, it's actually got a full charge of refrigerant. Magic, I don't know. 21 ounces of, yep, R12. Unbelievable. Boy, am I lucky with that fridge. Anyway, it's quite a hot day today, it's 40 today. I went to work on this little fridge there, fix up the mounts on this little mediumizer, because it's loud. You can kind of see behind here, you can't really get to the seals behind it, it's inside. I might even seal this one here up, just for good measure. That one there, the compressor on this one had a bit of oil on the bottom of it too, but it seems to have a full charge as well. Nowhere near as oily as that one here was, and that one here's got a full charge. As you can see here, although one side of the coil gets quite frosty, it seems to be working properly anyway. There's actually a big suction line accumulator on the side there, in there. But it's actually performing quite well in all the temperature settings, so yeah, I want to, another thing I want to do is fix that up, and fix the crack in there up, and fix this crack here up. Because that's just something water inside that and rust the cabinet out internally. And this will be painted at some stage. I want to keep the same colour. I want to give it a good buff the paint, polish it. Dent there though, damn it. Just want to get this surface rust off and take this handle off, or I can mask it off with tape. That'd work. I just paint this, repaint the door. That's had a lot of hands rubbing against it over the years. You hear the paint's all bubbled, so I'm going to fix that. There isn't much cold getting out when I'm doing that, but I want to replace those seals. I'll ask the guy I got into contact for this carbonator, the old retired guy, he fixed up old fridges. He actually specialises in old fridges, so he knows these carbonators, Frigidaires. He's a bloody expert, he knows them inside out. I might even see if he can get me a new gasket for this Frigidaire. Pretty nice old bloke. Nowadays in his retirement age, he's pretty much just specialises in old fridges only. So it's pretty good, he knows his stuff. I'm lucky with this one, that's for sure. Quite a nice looking fridge, I like that design. I'll have another look at that mediumizer. They're quite unique, these fridges for that, with their compressors. They're very unique. That's one happy little mediumizer. What spun me out, not only the bottom was oily, but the top of the compressor was oily too. That could be just from the vapour though. I ain't getting hot over the years, but it's a miracle. Has a full charge of refrigerant. They must have overcharged this thing slightly or something, I don't know. It's just a miracle. There's a little filter dryer there, this one has. Quite a large one. That little valve there is to drain the oil, and you've got a valve up there for initially charging it from the factory. That thread's on the far inside, you screw it onto there, there'll be a thing in the back of the valve that goes in that nut in the end. Once it seals and clamps on and seals, you can just undo the thing, takes that nut off to charge it from the refrigerant from the factory. That's one advantage of those old compressors. You have a plug like that on the bottom of it. The carbonator has a similar thing too. That makes it very easy to drain and flush and change the oil when you're retrofitting new refrigerant in the system. The carbonator has it as well, but not in the very bottom. There's a good information I've found online for these compressors, these culminators. The top part here is a motor stator. And this part here is the actual piston of the cylinder. Is on this side of the compressor. Hence that shape. Yeah, it's very, very, very well made, well engineered. The stator's pressed into that bit, and the pump unit is just welded directly to the shell. You've got the connection to the output here, and the suction's in this like a normal modern compressor, hermetic compressor. The suction side is a shell, suction side is a shell side. That's where they would have charged it with from the factory in that big bolt there. But this is, as I said before, this is going to get properly retrofitted with the compatible oil with its new refrigerant. That's all it needs. And the filter dryer will be changed. That's it. Everything else is going to be original. I can't wait till this is all fixed. And we're using this in the Frigidaire alongside. Having more than one nice old fridge is a good advantage because you can defrost one, turn it off, use another one, and rotate them. Anyway, quite happy with how this has worked out. Thanks for watching.